Hi everyone, welcome back to my mini album tutorial using the collection With Love from Prima. This is my design team project for Country Craft Creations, and you can get all your supplies there. I'll have a link down below. And let me bring over, I've made my cover. Use your cutting guide and the video I have on how to make covers and hinges to do your cover and hinge. And the measurements that you'll need for that, of course, are in the cutting guide. And I did put a couple mats on my cover. I used the puffy hearts here on the front cover. And then I used the ledger and bouquets on the back cover. And then I used the upper corner of this sheet here. Now, this sheet is a little bit wider, maybe, that I cut off because I wanted more of the roses. So just play with it until you get a look like that. Okay, and then I didn't do the inside back cover yet because I was thinking about what I wanted to do there, so I haven't made up my mind. And I haven't done the spine. But we can go ahead and put our pages in while I think about that. All right, and I like to start at the back. I also like to do a test fit before I put them on to make sure everything. You know what, I'm thinking I should have inked. Hang on. As you can see, I inked the cover, and I'm thinking I probably should have inked this edge of this hinge. Maybe not, though. If I did, it would really stand out with a line, wouldn't it? And it's going to be covered by a mat. It's just very white right there. I'm not even adding any ink to the pad. I would say to, do this obviously before you put it in the book. So I'm just doing a little bit, just so it doesn't stand out quite so much. Oh my goodness, that was my tummy growling. I don't know if you could hear it. It's, I've been up for an hour or so, but I think it's just coming on to 6 a.m. So, and I haven't had breakfast yet. Okay, there we go. Just to make that a little less stark white, that's better. Oops, let's put it right side up, shall we? Okay, there we go. Oops, hey Jolly, she's coming. I do have two cats, but Holly is, she doesn't come up as often. Want to check for fit. It's pretty good. Now when you put these on, don't put them all the way to the bottom. Leave about 1/16 to 1/8 of an inch so that they'll flip freely. Okay, now I'm just wondering, you know what, I'm just going to add a little ink down in there. We are going for kind of a shabby look. All right, so do all this inking before you put it in. I just so rarely ink the bases of my albums that I didn't even think of it. Because I'm not putting the page all the way to the bottom, the stark white would really show if I don't do any inking. And I'm just going to ink right here. There. What are you doing over there? Oh, sorry, she's wandering all over the desk. You can't see her. I don't know what she's doing, but the other side of this desk is my actual work, my job. So I just want to make sure she's not getting into anything she shouldn't over there. Okay, so you just want to line it up on your hinge. Make sure it's parallel to your covers, not crooked, and everything looks good. Then what I like to do, hang on, let me grab a tool. Is is really stuck down. Oh, there we go. Just pull back a little bit of the tape and fold it down so that it'll be sticking out from the page. And then put the page back on. Again, checking for fit, checking that it's parallel to everything. And then just press down and then pull the rest of the tape out. Just like that, okay? And then you're going to turn it over, use your tool to get in there and grab the back of the tape on the other side and press. Okay, just like that. Okay. And the next, that's page 5. So that is the next one. My magnets haven't arrived. They've shipped, but they have not arrived. They're in that state where it says, you know, shipping label created. So I'm stuck with that tag sort of floating until I can get my magnets. I'm just going to, now that I'm inking everything, I'm seeing places that look very white. I don't know how noticeable that would be in the end, but it looks pretty noticeable right now. Okay. Now be careful when you have a lot of flaps to make sure that you're putting the correct opening on your hinge. Okay, that looks good. Now, once you've had that first page on, you want to make sure that the following pages line up with that first page. I don't know if you can hear that. You'd think I had a giant dog in the house. That's the cats playing. So with the cover and with the previous pages to make sure that everything lines up nicely. Okay, and remember, we've got this page will have this tag on it. And we've already put the 2 magnets here. I just am waiting on my magnets to arrive for that. And hopefully it will not be too long. Okay. There's quite a bit we can do, though, even without the magnets, because we can still decorate the whole front of that tag. This is a chunky page, and this page here is why I have you leaving about an 1/8 inch, 16, actually probably closer to an 1/8, because the thicker the page, the higher up on the hinge you need to put it for it to swing freely. And this one's really chunky between the pocket flap thing on the one side and all the flaps on the other side. Again, we want to make sure we're putting the actual opening. I have, in fact, put a page on using the incorrect opening, using like a flap instead of the side pocket opening. It's no big deal. You can use undo to get it off, but it's better if you don't do it in the first place. Okay, and I'm going to open these flaps. Hang on. So that we can really get in there. Press that onto the hinge. There we go. Like that. Right, and this one goes like this. Now I'm putting these in just how I want to put them in. You don't have to put your pages in the same order that I'm putting my pages. I'm just dabbing a little ink here. If you prefer to put them in a different order, put them into different order. Won't make a bit of difference. Okay, there we go. All right. The only thing you need to make sure is if you've got directional papers that they're up, right side up. But other than that, it's up to you how you put things. Okay, there we go. And with Prima, almost all of their papers are directional because even what seems like an all-over print will usually have some text or something in the background. Okay. Go. And let me go ahead and put that back on. And I don't want it too far down. Go. That's kind of the main thing to watch out for because your initial sort of feeling is to press it right down into the hinge, but if you do that, you're going to cause yourself problems. Like this wouldn't turn, the page wouldn't turn freely. Okay, there we go. Let me get rid of a few of these before Jolly comes back, because she loves them. And if all she did was play with them, I wouldn't care, but she tries to eat them. All right, let's get that little tool out of there. Oh, that looks cute. I do love this 6x6 size. All right. I have a lot of this polka dot towards the back of the book. I'm going to have to do some sort of tags or something up the front with, where have I got? Oh, here. I could use some of the polka dot here and that would carry it to the front. All right. Cute. All right, so we need to figure out this inside back cover and what we're going to do there. If you remember, this is based on another album that I made, and in that album there was a secretarial pocket here. And I always like a secretarial pocket, but I don't know if that's what I want to do on this one. Although it wouldn't be a bad idea, because there really aren't very many pockets in this album. There's a few, but not a lot. What have we got? Really, there's this one, this little one, and this one and this one. So there's 4 pockets, a couple of belly bands. So do we want to do another pocket? I'm thinking instead of the secretarial pocket, do a pocket at the bottom with a flap. And maybe have the flap be big enough that it comes down to the same point that this belly band ends. So we have a straight line across. That's what we're going to do. Okay, so for the flap, it needs to end up, looks like at 5 inches. That's convenient. Okay, so we need a 5.5 inch piece by, let's see, I'm lifting this up because I want to make sure I don't measure into the hinge. It's a 6.5 inch cover, but I don't know as I want to go the full 6.5. I don't think I do. Let's go let's call it 6 3/8. So 5.5 by 6 3/8 for the flap. The flap, okay, and the pocket can actually be any height we want, but I want to keep it fairly low because we're going to put that grommet up there. So I'm thinking maybe to halfway up the belly band so it's kind of balanced when it's open. All right, so that's 2 1/4. So I need a piece 2 3/4 by 6 3/8. No, that should have been 7 3/8. Okay, hang on. Forgot the width on the pocket. All right, so here's our flap and here's our pocket. Cats have the zoomies. All right, so let's put the short side across the top of our scoreboard on the flap and score it at 1/2 inch. And then at the pocket, I'm going to score the long side at 1/2 inch. And each of the short ends at 1/2 inch. Go. Some of these things, I'm trying to maintain a little bit of neatness here, just a little. All right, and let's see, where is my 3/8 tape? There it is. And we're going to ink these, of course, and I think we will scallop the ends of the flap. Why not? And let's trim our corners. I'm sorry about all that noise. They are, like I said, they've got the zoomies. Okay, there's the pocket. And flap. Make sure you don't go over your score mark when you're trimming your corners. And I know I'm going to ink, but I want to scallop that edge first. All right, so we're going to do the 2 corners with the scallop side of our Memory Keepers corner chomper thingy. If you don't have that, don't worry about it. You can round the corners if you want, or you can just leave them as is. Is a flap, so you do need to ink both sides of it. And this is going to require a closure. I was about to say a magnet, but I'm thinking maybe a ribbon. It would give it a little bit of that soft look that this album kind of uses. That. Okay, that's going to go like that. That's going to open like that. That's going to be matted. I think I need a little ink on this side. Just... There we go. Okay, so there's that. And then here's our pocket. This one, because it's a pocket, you don't need to ink the inside of it, except maybe along that top edge, just so it doesn't show really white. Okay. Oops. Okay, now, here we go. Excuse me. So let's figure this out. Okay, so the bottom of the pocket, we can do that there, and then the top there, and then we'll put, or not then, first, before, because I think I want the tie to be under the pocket and the flap, not under the mats, because if you put it under the mats, if you tug on it, it could tear your mat. So let's figure out the tie situation. And I think what I'm going to do is use a full piece rather than tape a piece here and tape a piece here, because it'll just make the whole matting situation easier down the road. So what I'm going to do is tuck it underneath just to help me measure, to make sure, and it's going to tie fairly low on the page, I think. Okay, and that's longer than I need by quite a bit. So I'm going to cut this down right about there. Okay. And center that. I'll just tie it one more time now that I've cut it to make sure everything is as it should be. I want it long enough that you can tie it wherever you want, but long enough that I can tie it down there. Oh, that's fine. Okay, good. Okay, so what we're going to do, and actually what you could have done if you wanted to, was put it under this outside mat. It would barely have been visible, and that would work, but we're going to put it here. So just fold it in half, give or take. It doesn't matter if it's not perfect. Okay. And then we're going to take our, let's take the pocket, and I'm going to lay it there because that's where it's going to go. And find our center of this pocket, because it's 6 3/8, so that is 3 3/16, right? Right about there. Okay, it doesn't have to be perfect, but you also don't want it too far off or it'll look messy. Okay. So now I'm going to take a piece of tape, and I am going to, now remember the mats and things are going to glue this down as well. And I'm just going to center this piece of tape. Up pretty high. Because remember, it's going to be under the mat and under the flap. It won't be visible. And then I'm doing the same. I did it in half so that I didn't cover my mark until I was ready to. And put that there. Okay, just like that. Okay. Then take the tape, the back of the tape off. Put that piece pretty crooked, didn't I? And we are going to lay our tape down, centered over the piece of tape that we just put down. There we go, just like that. Perfect. That's going to be pretty, I think. All right, and then we're going to put this here. Well, you know what? I folded that wrong. I suppose you all probably noticed that while I was dithering. Let me re-ink. I was so busy thinking about what I was going to do that I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing. Okay, there we go. Go. All right, we're going to line this up, see if I can move it where you can see it, with the bottom edge and the outside edge. And you can be in a little bit from that outside edge because we left ourselves enough room making the pocket. that it could be in a little bit. There we go. Nice. Okay, and then we have our flap at the top. That's going to go right there. Oh, that's going to be cute. I like that. Okay. Again, you can line everything up. Make sure it's lined up nicely with the pocket before you pull your tape off. Make sure your seam binding. This is a pale pink seam binding, the same one that I used earlier. Nice. Oh, I like that. All right, and then we can tie. Cute. Okay. So we need mats for the flap and the pocket lining. I think those are the only mats we have left, right? We've matted everything else. Oh, the spine. All right. So let's see what we have. All right, let's start with the pocket. Okay. Tuck that in there. And make sure it's straight. Looks good. Just want to make sure you burnish your corners pretty well, especially on when you've got a little bulk under them like this. And I just like to use my little ruler to burnish inside the pockets. Turn this. And last one. You know what? I just have a little corner there that didn't chomp quite right. There we go. Okay. To make sure you've got that straight and centered. Okay, nice. Kind of wish I had some ephemera for this collection. Just something right there would be nice, but maybe we can figure out some other embellishment. I think I might have some things in my stash. I'm a little leery about using things in my stash because you might not have the same things in your stash. But we'll see. this. All right, and I'm gonna have to trim those. Just a little. I don't like my tails on my bows to be too short. If you're gonna do something as frou-frou as a bow, it should be frou-frou. Okay. Nice. All right, so let's do our spine and then we'll call it a day. I've got this piece right here, but it's too short, I can tell already. Good width, but too short. Okay, so I need, all right, 6 3/8 by 1 5/8, give or take. Yeah. All right, so let's see if I have anything in my little scrap pile that is tall enough. I have this piece. This piece is literally the exact right size. But I have to turn it around because once again those little hearts are throwing me off. Now we have this side. Do we want that side? The only thing is I'm not sure it's clear from being narrow that that is a frame, and it looks like an O. So this side it is. Okay. Stand this up. And then we'll finish next time. We'll do our inserts and embellishing. So we have to embellish our cover. Okay, I'm just playing with this to make sure I have it centered. And I think it's a little high, but that's okay. And we have to make our chain closure. Okay. There we go. Now the side pocket inserts, you can go ahead and cut those before next time. I'm going to cut one just so we can do it together and we can make sure we've got it the right size. And I'm going to cut them out of the white, and they should be 5 7/8 by 5 7/8. So let's just cut one, make sure that works. And if it does, you can go ahead and cut 4 of those. You should be able to get it out of one sheet of paper. Right. Check that for fit. I can't remember which is the front, which is the back. Okay, it's so pretty all the way around. All right, hang on. I just want to make sure I'm putting it in the actual side pocket. They're always hard to put in until they're matted because they're a little floppy, especially when you have to go through 8 magnets like this. Okay, yeah, that's perfect. So cut yourself 4 of these. 5 7/8 by 5 7/8, and we will most likely I don't think I'm going to scallop the corner of these. I'll probably just round it, but you'll see in the next video. So cut 4 pieces, 5 7/8 by 5 7/8 for your side pocket inserts. You'll have your tag. If you don't have a tag, make one, and I linked a video in the last video to how to make a tag. And you can make it any size you want. This one is 4.5 by 4 1/4 plus the little don't eat part, so 5. I guess that's it. I'm going to cut mine, and I will see you next time, and we'll maybe finish this book because we're pretty far along. There's not a whole lot left to do, just the fancy stuff, and we need to do our chain, but we'll figure that out. All right, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget, this is a design team project for Country Craft Creations, and you can get all your supplies there. It's linked down below. And I am using Prima with Love collection. And I have flowers to work with, and I have the pink seam binding. So I will see you next time, and we will keep working on our project while I'm cleaning things up. Have a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.